Welcome to the Bible Forum. An abortion researcher is predicting a really tough time for Democrats over the next 40 years. This from a column in WorldNet Daily, I believe, .com, a fellow by the name of Dennis Howard. He equates the desperation of the Democrats to the guy falling past the 50th floor on the Empire State Building while assuring himself, so far so good. And the issue is abortion in America and what that has yielded. Tracking abortion numbers since 1992, this former Democrat is finding a truly bad track record for the future of the liberal cause. It seems liberals, Democrats mostly, have been killing their offspring in large numbers over these many decades. And in so doing, they're killing off their potential voting base. Now that's a simple logical equation that you, oh yeah, but it's really not like. A market researcher, former Democrat, Mr. Howard says he can confidently predict, based on abortion trends, that the Democrats are just about finished as a national party for the next 30 to 40 years. He says for decades, Democrats, the liberal sort, have been able to pander to minorities, women, using those voting blocks to build majorities that were insurmountable by the rest of the electorate. He points out that Republicans have needed 65% of the votes simply to break even against the Democrat voting blocks of women and minorities, which has had as much as 10 million vote advantages just among the African American community. But something that has now appeared to have evaporated. And why? He says largely due to abortion on demand. It is estimated, he says, that 61 million Americans have died at the hands of abortionists over the last 60 plus years, all of them less than a year old. It is this, Mr. Howard says, that will decide the future of the Democrat Party. Now these people all say Democratic Party. I hate that, because the Democrat Party is anything but democratic. And democratic does not define or describe what the Democrats are. He provides some facts. Fact number one, he says 25 states, mainly Republican, have had 10% of these abortions, while the other 25 states account for 90% of all abortions. The top 12 Democrat states are responsible for 73% of all the abortions that we've had. He said this is what defeated Hillary in the last election. New Jersey, New York, Illinois, Michigan, Massachusetts, liberal states collectively lost 9 electoral votes due simply by population decline. These are all cold states, by the way. Like the cold up there. Not like a whole lot of people are going to flock up there. While in Texas, Florida, and Georgia, electoral votes increased by 6 due to population. And all 3, Texas, Florida, Georgia, voted for Trump in 2016. 5 states, Florida, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Ohio, North Carolina, voted Obama in 2012. But they all switched to Trump in 2016. And this cost Hillary 103 electoral votes. He suggests that if things continue as they have, Republicans, conservatives, will continue to win elections in these states. New York has more abortions per year than it has deaths. And that's deaths from any and every other cause. The majority of these abortions are among minority populations. Black births in New York City dropped 50% between 1990 and 2010. Blue-collar families in upstate red counties just kept having babies. It's going to take a while, he says, but sooner or later, that piper's going to get paid. Fact number 2. Catering to women on issues like abortion appears on the surface to give Democrats a 24-point lead among women compared to an 8-point edge for Republicans among men. At least that's what the pollsters say. But the demographics of abortion turn that fact upside down. Because the truth is, half of all aborted babies are females who will never get a chance to vote. And that means more missing voters and declining margins for the Democrats. To estimate the impact on this future voting, this particular market researcher adjusted for the fact that you have to be 18 years old to vote and the fact that only 60% actually vote. And given those adjustments, the 2016 total of 61 million abortions adds up to 26 million missing voters, divided more or less evenly between men and women. However, in accounting for the differences in how both sexes vote, it means that Hillary's margin would have been cut by 3 million votes in 2016, while Trump would have lost only 1 million. Net loss? 2 million votes for Hillary. Fact number 3. Nationally, abortion has taken the lives of 21 million future black voters. At least 14 million of these would be voting age today. If they had voted like other blacks in 2016, Hillary would have won by 6 million votes. This is a very high price to pay for pandering over the last 25 or so years. But the real cost has been to lives. The black population growth in the U.S. has declined from 1.7% a year before 2000 to a mere 0.52% in the 18 years since. That's a 69% decline. Fewer black people being born. 69%. Today, the black population hovers around 43 million out of a total population of more than 327 million. That's less than 8% of the population. Without abortion, that number would have been 73 million higher. The U.S. Supreme Court never considered the carnage that this right, so-called right, would bring. They only considered that people had a right to kill their unborn children. They weren't really human. And those who have paid the highest price are among the poorest and among the minority populations. These numbers, these percentages, are right up there with slavery and the Nazi Holocaust. What those butchers did is no different in result than what our liberal, I care for you legislators have done. Fact number 4, similar analysis of younger voters, 18 to 49, confirms both the short and long-term impact of abortion on current and future voting. This is the group that's been the hardest hit by the abortion toll, which has taken the lives of 28% of the population under 50. The 18 to 29 group voted heavily for Hillary in 2016, and the older segments, not so much. But altogether, these missing younger voters would have contributed an additional margin of 3 million votes for Hillary in 2016, more than enough to guarantee a victory. Now, all this doesn't include another 22 million missing voters under 18. These are potential voters who just don't vote. They represent a loss of another 1.3 million edge for the Democrats in future national elections. Nor did it include any allowance for the expected echo effect, the future voters who would otherwise have been born to those who were aborted. No matter how you look at it, all of these aborted babies are making a big difference today and will continue to make an even bigger difference over the next 40 to 50 years as the cumulative total of abortions and their echo effect on the future generations continues to climb. And nobody can stop this, not even Hillary. The supreme irony is that America's aborted generation of 61 million is making a growing difference by no longer being around to vote like a block for those who promoted abortion as the answer to all the world's ills. Their voices are not lost. You see, the silence speaks for them and will continue to do so. Have hope.